Okay, guys, you know who it is. And what do I have in front of me? Voyager Beast Machines Cheetor. I'm sorry, this figure is terrible. I'm sorry if you love this figure, because I am going to not really rip it a new one, but I'm warning you now, I am going to be negative throughout this entire review. This figure sucks. Just plain and simple. This thing sucks. This is the worst. I'm sorry, this is one of the worst figures in the Beast Machines line. So, why does this figure stink so much? Well, first off, the cheetah mode is emaciated. Now, I know that sounds weird given the whole dynamic of Beast Machines, but this cheetah mode doesn't look like it could exist. It's so thin and so frail that it just doesn't work. Also, it doesn't like to stand. It's barely standing now. This arm wiggles because of a gimmick here that's supposed to be used to whip hit or to flip around his whip. But all he does is whip his hand back and forth. He whips his hand back and forth. He whips his hand. And this arm, ever since I got it, it can't really hold the weight because all of the ball joints on this figure, while adequate, if you put too much weight on them, they'll collapse without warning. And I can never get this figure to pose well. It never looks good. It just doesn't. And maybe that's my fault. God damn it. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I'm just not adept at posing this guy. Oh, excuse me. But nothing I do makes this thing look good. You know what? This is the Paris Hilton of Transformers, really. It's supposed to look good, but it really doesn't. You just have the urge to want to give it a sandwich. Anyway, so transformation is your typical Cheetor stand it up, do something with the torso. So rip the tail off, kind of just put the legs down. You're supposed to extend the legs, but we'll get into why this is a very bad idea in a minute. And then the torso. Well, okay. This never goes well. And I could be doing it wrong. I probably am. But you start off by opening or dropping down whatever this is. And then you come underneath the cheetah head, which actually is supposed to open and close, but mine barely does. You come under the cheetah head and fold this piece out. And then you're supposed to fold the whole torso back like that. And pull this piece, or roll this piece up towards the cheetah head, which will cause Cheetor's robot head to fall out. And then you're supposed to get the cheetah head to somehow slide into this torso space. But on mine, it never wants to go easy. So, once that's done, you take this piece, roll it all the way over the entire figure. And then you can then kind of freely move the cheetah head around just enough to close this section up, push the cheetah head in as far as it'll go, fold that back, and it's supposed to snap in, but it really doesn't unless you line everything up perfectly. And then this section folds up to form his back. Then you take the entire figure, or entire bottom torso, rotate it around, and then you're supposed to collapse it down, and this is supposed to slide up or down. I'm never sure which because it never works. It's never worked for me. And I think it's supposed to do something with the hips, but it's never worked and leaves just this really floppy hip going on. And then you just rotate the arms around like that. Close the hands like that. And then you're supposed to be able to have the figure stand. I, for one, have never managed to do this correctly. I am always fighting with these feet. And these are what what we call chicken legs, boys and girls. But most chicken legs allow you to actually have the figure standing. These chicken legs normally don't. Okay, now I'm going to move the camera and try and keep this going in frame for you. Alright, you see him. If I touch him, he will fall over. It doesn't look good, does it? So, alright. God. Okay, I'm gonna not rage. Not going to rage. There is a peg inside his right hand. Is where you put the tail whip weapon. Sometimes he can hold it, sometimes he can't. I swear I'm the only person I know who owns this figure. I've never known anyone else who owns this thing. And then you push on his shoulder to make him whip his hand back and forth. And he smacks himself in the crotch and smacks himself in the ass. Take with that what you may. Posability-wise, theoretically, he's got a ball joint. He's got a ball joint here, not much movement. He's got a ball joint here, plenty of movement. He's got a ball joint here, plenty of movement. He has a ratchet joint here, and then this thing, and then he's got a ball joint here. Oh, and he can do that. Theoretically, his legs have more articulation. That's about it. Oh, and he can do that too. And that's it. I want to find the person that made this figure and punch them. Knight/Cheetor is a fine figure. Knight/Cheetor, which is a deluxe Cheetor from the Beast Machines line, is fine. He's great. He's a Cheetor figure. He's what a Cheetor figure should be. This... don't buy this figure. Don't get this figure. Don't. It's not good. It's not even worth spare parts. Unless you're looking for something that needs excessively long limbs for no apparent reason whatsoever, he's okay. That's the only reason, or for kit bashing, he's okay. That's the only reason I can see you would need this figure. Or maybe you need something to make a whip your hand back and forth movement. Then feel free to grab the components out of here. But this figure, it's bad. It's very bad. It's really, really, really bad. And I hate it. So, stay away. Don't even bother. Go find something else better to spend your money on. Like, I don't know, your electric bill.